Welcome to the Morning Nerdy News. I'm your host, Gray Falcon. We're going to go ahead and get right into it today. First off, Amazon has announced a new gaming streaming service called Luna. You can go over to amazon.com/Luna. From there, you can request early access to this. Now, this isn't free early access. They are stating that it is going to be $5.99 for Luna Plus during this early access period. If you come down, it is a better deal and far better than what Stadia did to us. So if you'd like to be a part of this testing period and you can come in and play these games, you're not required to purchase a controller. However, they do offer a controller. And I just want to scroll through here, let you see everything that they have going on. They say it's available PC, Mac, Fire TV, and web apps for iPhone and iPad, which is surprising. It seems that they are going to bend to what Apple wants with the individual apps for streaming services. Don't know if that's truly the case, but it does come across that way given what Apple's current requirements are. But they list all kinds of games. They have Control in here, Resident Evil, Biohazard, Metro Exodus, and several more in here that could be of interest to people. It says something for everyone. Explore action, adventure, platformer, indie, shooter, RPG, racing, and classic games from Ubisoft, Capcom, 505 Games, and Team 17. And we're always adding more. It definitely looks like they are going to have a better lineup than Stadia did when they first came out last year. And so here you can see the pricing, the $5.99 per month. They say that gives you unlimited hours of play, growing library of games, up to 1080p 60 frames per second with 4K coming soon. Stream on 2 devices at a time. That's important. That means that you could potentially play with a family member on 2 different devices at the same time together under one subscription with this. And you can play on PC, Mac, Fire TV, web apps for iPhone and iPad again. And they also have the coming soon for Ubisoft, where it's pretty much the same thing, only you only get 1 device with the Ubisoft side rather than 2. And here is the controller that they have available for purchase. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but at first look, this looks awfully familiar. So not only does it have a very similar look to your typical Xbox controller, it also looks a lot like the Stadia controller. It looks like they knew exactly who their primary competition was, and all they did was kind of move the thumbstick from one location to another, and instead of having the button be here, they've moved it up to here. But it's got 3 different buttons, a mic button, what looks like the 3 dash line button that is also on here. So you can see that there in comparison. And it has this little circle button, which is similar to the dots that they have on here. Not quite the same. Not entirely sure what that button will do. But it definitely looks like they are targeting Stadia with this more than anything. I'm worried about this controller. Hopefully Amazon has put a lot of effort into it, because while this is a decent controller, the thumbsticks were tight and worked well. The other buttons seemed very plastically. You can hear that in there. Where in comparison, you get the nicer controllers. And now this is my Elite one, but very different sound. Now that part of that is because the metal, but it doesn't have nearly as loud of the plastic clunk on there, because the parts inside, there's metal parts in there, where this sounds like a dull plastic hitting on plastic. So I'd be worried about this controller. I'm curious. I want to check it out. I don't know that I want to spend the money in order to pick this up. And they say you get more where you can go in and out of Twitch with this seamlessly, but really there's already a Twitch app. I don't really see this as being a bonus. Maybe it'll be a bonus to someone, but I'm not sure who that is for. But overall, cool new streaming service, more competition in the market right now. I expect Xbox is going to still lead this just because of how Game Pass offers so much. This does seem to be taking the similar process as Xbox with their xCloud setup and just putting games on there like they do with Game Pass and letting you be able to play them for one cost. This doesn't talk about purchasing games or anything like that. It is a streaming service that you pay for the service and then you gain access to the games. So unless something changes with that down the road, this seems like an excellent way to go. And starting out at $6 a month is a great way to undercut Xbox, which is $15 for that ultimate package, and $10 for Stadia, which is closer to a PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live type of setup that gives you a few extra perks. I'm going to go ahead and move on into some other hardware news. PlayStation 5 IO system to be supercharged by Uli. Texture bandwidth goes up to 17.38 gigabits per second. This says gigabytes. They have it as big B, but I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be gigabits, not bytes. If that is bytes, that's huge, but I'm guessing that is a typo in this circumstance. But if you come down here, they talk about the licensing that they've had with this in order to get these added in, and how they're also getting the Kraken for decoding, for compression and decoding for gaming, and this is ultra fast. So this uses the existing setup but has a different compression and decoder in order to accomplish these speeds. So originally it was supposed to be 8 to 9 gigabits per second for the IO bandwidth, but if a company comes in and develops their game and they use this licensed software in order to process, you will get even faster performance from the PCI Express 4.0 SSD M.2 drive than you will by going with the standard processing that Sony has available to everyone. Now, I don't know if they are required to pay up in order to get this, so Activision might have to go in and pay Oodle in order to have access to this faster speed, or it could just be something that's inherent with the PlayStation 5 and available to anyone. And in other PlayStation news, Death Stranding patch 1.04 for PC comes out, and this update gives you DLSS 2.1 Ultra Performance Mode. DLSS has been big. It's been one of those services that you go out and it improves the quality of a game. Now, in some cases, that may mean taking something like 1080p and upscaling it using their special software in order to get 1440p or 4K to run smoother, but it also really crisps the details. Now, this is something that has been big with NVIDIA, how they've been pushing that with their new graphics cards. And they've shown differences even during their presentations. They don't have it here, but the backpack has writing on it, and how with the DLSS 3.0, which is not out yet, you could actually read what's written on the back of this at 4K, where in typical native 4K, it wasn't clear enough to read while you were running around the world. If you already have the power to run something natively at like 4K, the DLSS will also go in and take advantage and help clean things up in native 4K as well, because it goes, I have the resources there, but I can help sharpen that image on a 4K screen. But overall, this is excellent technology, and this is great to see that we're going to have this available, so anyone who has those new NVIDIA cards will be able to take advantage of this. Over on Xbox Wire, Doom Eternal has officially been announced to be coming to Game Pass on October 1st. So this was announced the other day as kind of a mystery tweet, where it was hidden within the tweet saying, we're not allowed to actually show what's happening here, but we have big news coming kind of thing. You could alter the image and you could see that it said the Slayer is coming. And now we have official confirmation that we are getting Doom Eternal as part of Game Pass. And in other gaming news, over on nightcity.love, this is the Cyberpunk website, it appears we've had an update where something happened where the other day these links didn't work. You couldn't see anything. It had that big pop-up ad there, and now when I close the pop-up ad, this now pops up and goes to these different things. So you can check out more information on the city center, Watson, Haywood, Westbrook, and Pacifica outskirts, Santo Domenico. I think I messed that one up. Sorry, people. But yeah, it's it just allows you to come in here and check out these different locations. And I'm going to head over into some other news. So the other day, the Boys spinoff was announced. So what this is the Boys is a show on Amazon, and it's been going really well. Now, people are upset that it wasn't released all at once for season 2 like it was for season 1, but the show is doing so well that they have decided to fast track development on a spin-off. This is supposed to be taking place at a superhero college. Not entirely sure on what all the details are, but you can click on the link here. This is from Twitter, and it takes you over to Deadline and goes into some more details about what's going on. And in other news, what kind of news, the other day I reported about new shoes coming out for Cyberpunk. Well, today we are getting new Adidas Star Wars Boba Fett high tops, and we are also getting from Adidas today the new Lego ZX8000 sneakers. So if you're a fan of Star Wars, Boba Fett, or Legos, Adidas is going full in with the nerd on shoes. Now, we saw last year, I believe it was, where we saw anime shoes over at Skechers. They had One Piece. I believe this year they are coming out with Naruto shoes. Don't quote me on that one, but there is some other anime shoe that they are coming out with this year. So Adidas has apparently decided to get in on that fandom, but they are going with bigger brands such as Lego, Cyberpunk, and Star Wars. Some more nostalgic things. I wanted to show this off. This isn't really news, but over on Twitter, Alan Johnson said, "I remember when there used to be a brick and mortar Sony PlayStation store in San Francisco." So I just want to click through these photos. They're definitely grainy, but this is also a while ago. So you can't exactly expect high resolution photos from something back during when PlayStation 3 was being launched. This could even be older than that. But you can actually get a look of the store. They had these different events that would go on. They had this gaming bar set up here. These are old CRT TVs, it looks like. Definitely gives you an impression of how old this place was. But it's just kind of cool to take a look back and see that these are the types of places that we used to have and go through and enjoy. And it makes me sad that we don't actually have this type of thing available to us anymore. I'm going to go ahead and get off the nostalgia train here and move over to something more recent. We have a comment over here where it said, "Welp, not being able to pick up a 3090 today means that my work is going to be fucked for the next little bit. Can they at least release the new Quadro so I can get my work done? $10 says AMD will be a paper launch too." Frank Azor responded with, "I look forward to taking your $10. Frank Azor is the chief architect of gaming solutions and marketing at AMD. Here's what's going on. You're going to have plenty of cards available to you when we announce this on the 28th. So whatever their actual release date is, that's when they're showing it off, is October 28th. So he's saying, I'm going to take your $10 because you're going to be able to go and get this card. I'm going to put a little grain of salt on this one, though, because AMD is not known for being able to do work performance grade rendering or CAD work or other things like that. They lock all of that stuff behind their professional cards. This would be a big change if this is actually available to work with workloads. Because right now, NVIDIA, you go out and buy any NVIDIA card, and it can take advantage of CAD rendering, it can take advantage of video editing, all kinds of specialized workloads for the professional, where AMD has not supported that with their graphics card. So if he's saying that this is going to work with professional grade cards for professional grade work as well, this is something I'm very interested in and makes me kind of want to wait till October 28th to see what they say. But on the other side, AMD always has issues with drivers, and I don't know that I want to take the risk on a professional level of having to fiddle around with a gaming grade card that is supposed to have professional grade capabilities, have all kinds of just issues within their software, within their drivers. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. Remember to click the follow if you haven't already. If you are over on YouTube, make sure you click the subscribe button and follow me on Twitter as The Gray Falcon. Until next time, have a good one.